Burn it. Haha, yay! Welcome to Crumbs Guitars, welcome to my home studio, and welcome to a fresh, brand new build. What we have here is a fan fret uncut kit. This was the very, very first prototype of this kit. I am very, very happy with this. Now, the carving of all of these beautiful shapes is going to take some time. At this point, I'm not entirely sure whether I'm going to carve all the way through the sycamore into the sapele. I'm going to do that on the rest of the guitar and then see how these sections look later. I am making a sliding dovetail control cavity cover. I am very happy with this. Voila! I need to sort this headstock out, and it needs to match. The trick to drawing nice curves is having your hand in one place and supported while you're doing it. So the point here is to create a dovetail on the piece of ebony and a dovetail in the body, and the ebony will slide from the end of the guitar and essentially lock itself in on three faces. That bearing moved up, bump, and basically just in this little bit here, unfortunately it's gone in too deep, so the shaft of the cutter has been acting as my bearing now. It ran along there, which made it too long, but it also went in there. So I am going to have to just carry on using the shaft now, and I need to make another one of these, or at least make that bigger somehow. I'm not sure about this headstock. I love the shape, I'm not sure about that cutaway, so I'm going to leave this for now. What we're going to do is have full scallops start at the 14th fret, and just because we like curves, we're going to go down. You all know that I collect watches and love them and enjoy the insane craftsmanship that you can see in, you know, medium to high-end watches, and something they play with a lot is texture. There is no reason for these scallops to be smooth and polished and shiny. No reason at all. This is a fret slot cleaning saw for cleaning the fret slots on a bound fretboard. We sell them at Crimson. It's essentially a fine-tooth Japanese saw, and it's perfect for this job. It's always a little nerve-wracking doing something like this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. It is not going to affect playability. It is below where the pads of my fingers are going to go. All right, to the headstock. The headstock. We've done the outline and I really love it, and it's got the facets and the cutaways, etc. That it's just making me super excited. I also designed a cutaway in the center, and then I bottled it at the last minute and didn't do it. I'm gonna do it. I have to. I think it's gonna look amazing. What do you think? Too late. By the time you've seen it, I've done it already. I'm gonna have to do some more sanding, but for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue this neck in. This way, the control knob will stop me from accidentally hitting the mini toggle. Before I get to sanding, I want to make sure that the back plate is not going to move while I sand it. It's so important. Once I'm putting the magnets in there, it'll be the bottom. So I need to sort that bevel out. I need to sort that bevel out. I am telling myself to stop messing with it. And I do not know what I'm going to do. Half of you have said no stain. The other half have said green or a combination thereof. I'm just not convinced. I don't know. The fact that one of the most worrisome things in my life right now is what color to make this guitar, that makes me feel pretty good about my life. Some of you are going to hate this. I hope many of you are going to love it. I don't think anybody has done this before. I suppose the origin of this actually was looking at natural spalted timbers. This is Shred and I am having a total blast. So today I have some edges to clean up and tidy up. I need to add some stain to the controversial maple strip on this back plate, and the headstock needs some stuff done, and then I'm going to apply finish. And this is going to be fun. I'm going to be using our wipe-on guitar finishing lacquer. I'm going to go for as high a gloss of a finish as I can achieve with this, and it's going to take a little bit of a process. So this is going to be filmed over probably 4 or 5 days, really, with putting 2 or 3 coats on at a time and playing. The initial thing is that I'm going to have to apply using a foam brush. It's off camera here. These little foam brushes, I need to apply to only the stained sections, because the wipe-on will, some of the stain will go into the lacquer, and because I'm leaving this section white, i.e. natural maple, it would streak and just be nasty. So, of course I've overly complicated my life, but what would these videos be if I didn't do that? I just love the transformation that you get when applying finish. It is one of my favorite bits of a build. What's that? It's too dark, you say? Copper leaf, you say? Well now, that could be fun. You want to start with a relatively flat surface. Copper leafing, gold leafing, silver leaf, all of this sort of stuff is actually a whole hell of a lot easier than one might think. This is why I'm able to do it. All you need is a gold size. I use it's an oil-based gold size, 1 to 2 hour curing, drying time, and you paint on the size relatively gently in as smooth a layer as you can get, and then wait 1 to 2 hours depending on how dry or humid or warm, cold, etc. your environment is. And once you get a squeaking size, i.e. when you run your finger along the size, it squeaks, that means that the size is mostly cured and you are then ready to apply your leaf. It's straightforward. You paint it on, wait for it to cure, put the leaf on, tap the leaf down and burnish it lightly, as you can see I'm doing, and then leave it for a little while before rubbing away the excess. My issue is the blobs of copper leaf lack the definition that you have with the coloured sections. I ran some tests underneath our finish, and this matte black paint is compatible with the varnish I'm using. The paintbrush wasn't fine enough. The tool happens to be an antique dip pen. The plan is I want a nice matte finish on the back and on the neck, and I do want, however, the top to be nice and shiny. Bit of water, 500 grit paper, and let's see where we end up. So at this stage I'm going to move on to the top and I'm going to go dry. I want to be able to see absolutely every single pass that I make. So at this stage everything's dried off, and I'm going to apply a bunch more of the lacquer as smoothly as I can with one of the foam brushes across the whole guitar. Yeah. The first issue that I have is the traditional way that I want to saddle. Say that's your body. What I have come up with is something akin to this. I've got this chunk of 10mm silver steel. I'm going to turn this into 6 individual saddles for a multi-scale bridge, and it is going to be amazing. So the first thing to do is face off the ends and make sure we are nice and square. The next stage is to mark out where I want all of my holes to be. There we go. Here's a little grub screw. There we go. So I'm going to have to cut a notch, but that's my height adjustment. We have got this texturing pattern in the scallops, and I want to apply that same pattern to these two faces here, where the instrument is going to be benefiting from some friction as it sits on my lap. I'm happy with that. I am going to texture pretty much the entire sapele section. If you were one of those people way back when who said that I should put grain enhancing filler in the scallops, you were right. Let's figure out where this bridge is going. So this is a cut-to-cut process. I'm cutting the outline with the scalpel and then going in with a chisel at a right angle, and we should have something nice and clean into which to inlay this brass section. It's a bit alright, isn't it? Success. I'm very, very, very happy. But that is a very attractive bridge. I've decided to rebel just a little bit. And I'm gonna use an acoustic end pin style jack. Why not? It essentially is gonna go right in the middle, and I'm gonna have a nice right angle jack looping over everything. It's clean, it's polite, it's out of the way. Ta-da! I really thought that a pickup surround or two would look good, but all it does, it just screws the whole thing over. I don't like it. I'm gonna have to paint the inside of this cavity, and I'm gonna paint it with rearguard shielding paint. So what we should have here is a volume, a tone, and two on-off switches. Neck. Bridge. Both. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell all of your friends about what we are doing here.